the public relations officer of Raj Bhavan has already told you, we are very happy, delighted by your performance, and we are keen to meet you, and thought that we should also invite your parents, because credit definitely goes to you, because you have worked very hard. You must have spent so many sleepless nights, but credit also goes to your parents, your families, because right from the beginning of your education till the time when you made this great achievement, they have made many sacrifices. I don't want to go into details, but I can understand and I do appreciate the parents, the process through which the parents go. And when you make this landmark achievement, then they feel possibly more proud than you feel. So I would like to congratulate them. I hope some of them are here, or most of them are here. So before congratulating you, I would like to congratulate them. About you, I can only say that this is not the end of your journey, this is the beginning of your journey. One part was your education, and then now you will go through a rigorous training, a training to enhance your intellect, to enhance your capability to take decisions, to your executive capabilities. And you must remember, just now our PRO made a mention, Sardar Patel, our first Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister, had to face tremendous opposition when he was trying to protect and save this All India institution. Because opposition was coming mostly from, this is important to remember, that opposition was coming mainly from those who had fought for freedom. They were very credible people, very honored people. And they were saying that we do not want this service to continue. But Sardar Patel was a statesman. He was a visionary. Imagine what he achieved in short period of time, that is integration of these states. If that had not been done, can you imagine what India would have been like? So he was a visionary. When he defended the central service, this was not only to provide good administrators. Certainly, that is the basic function that you have to perform. But apart from that, what he had in mind was that an all India service will be our bulwark against the forces of division and disintegration. So your role was perceived as agents of integration, of oneness of India. Why? The reality is that India, right from the beginning of its civilization, is full of extremely rich in diversities. That is the reality. We have every religious tradition that is found in the world. We have the followers, adherents in India. The lingual diversity goes to the extent where official documents tell us that after every 16 miles or 16 kilometers, you must be knowing better because you must have prepared yourself for the interview. I read it long time back. After 16 miles or kilometers, the dialect changes. It is not only that we have Malayalam in Kerala and Hindi in Uttar Pradesh or Bihar and Tamil in Tamil Nadu, much more than that. Hindi has more than 10 dialects, and sometimes it becomes difficult for a man from Western UP to understand what a man from Eastern UP is saying. Culturally, the kind of customs and rituals which our people practice so much that our thought leaders, in fact, this is very important to understand, that Indian culture, Indian way of life was never defined all over the world. Cultures were defined either by race, language, and by the time of the medieval times, by and large, cultures were defined by religious faith of the society. What you see today, the pluralistic societies all over the world, they were not there just about, if you outstretch it, then the period will go to 150 years back. Otherwise, it was not there. Either people speaking the same language, practicing same religion, belonging to the color of the skin is the same. That is how cultures were defined in the world. All this change which you are seeing has happened only during last, go even beyond that, when the thinking started, after the clash of church and state, when democratic processes started building up. Take it to 200 years. Actually, 200 years are not there. Look at the history of the world. But Indian culture, Indian civilization, right from inception, from the beginning of the journey, it has always recognized diversity as the law of nature. We were not in a position to define our culture, our way of life, either by race, language, or religious faith. Why? Because we already had so much diversity. If you define, if you adopt any one of these parameters, say language, then people who speak other languages, they are excluded. Then how to define it? So our thought leaders, whom we called rishis, and this is much before, this diversity is not a problem which India started facing after we received Jews in the first century, we received Christians in the first century. Jews we received when their temple of Solomon was destroyed by the Romans. Christians we received, our Christianity is older than the European Christianity. We must be proud of it. India, and that too in Kerala, is the place where the first mosque outside what is called Hijaz even smaller than the present day Saudi Arabia. Hijaz meant Makkah, Medina, and Jeddah was also included in it. 3 cities of today's Saudi Arabia. That was the Hijaz. So actually, even these 3 places did not have the mosque. Only Makkah had and Medina had. And after those 2 mosques, the first mosque was built in India. And that is Kerala, Cheraman Mosque. So the diversity I am referring to, it is this was accepted by Indian thought leaders much before Jews came, Christians came, Islam came. So this shlok I am referring to is much older than that. So for us, Bharteshu Istriya Purusho Nana Varna Pirkirtite Nana De Varchane Yukta Nana Karmani Kurvate. And what politically right language? Bharteshu Istriya, first women are mentioned. So Indian women, men, they belong to different races, they worship different gods, they practice different rituals and customs. So how to define Indian civilization? The paradigm, the parameter which we adopted was Atma. And for us, Atma was not, the concept of Atma was not like that of all these things I am only stating as objective facts, not that I mean to criticize anybody. No, certainly not. But outside India, therefore I am not going to take any names, but outside India, till about 200 years back, 250 years back, they thought animals have no Atma. They thought even women have no Atma. And that is why possibly in the world we are the first democracy who started with universal franchise. Women had to fight hard way to secure right to vote in other countries. India recognized Atma not only among human beings, but it recognized Atma even in animals, in plants. And then Atma was accepted as the defining parameter of Indian civilization. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. Somebody who is trained to appreciate, to realize, Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahma. The supreme truth in the form, Brahma in the form of Atma, dwells in me. And she further realizes, Tattvamasi, and that you are. It is not only in me, it is in you. So once I am trained, my mind is trained to appreciate my own holy being and the holy being of the other, then one will develop a sanctity of spirit and will never try to step on the feet of the other person. The modern West has given the concept of dignity of mankind. The United Nations Human Rights Charter, all rights flow from the basic principle of dignity of mankind. Ancient India had given the concept of divinity of mankind. We can praise our culture, our civilization, but we must blame ourselves that we fail to carry this message to the all corners of the world. Like all other rights are rooted in the concept of dignity of mankind, even dignity of mankind can be ensured in the divinity of mankind. From divinity actually everything. This country has divinized the humanity and humanize the divinity. So this I am only saying to, I hope, I pray that you become more conscious of your cultural legacy. And cultural legacy, civilizational legacy, sometimes this confusion people try to create as if it is related to religious faith. No, religious faith is only a small part of it. Even in the Vedas, that part is called Karma Kand. And secondly, the Indian concept. Here you have 4 varnas. Brahmacharya, which means your education. Now you are entering into Grihastha ashram, which is the most important ashram. Why? Because all other ashrams for their sustenance depend on this ashram. Brahma nishtho girhastha syat tatjnan parayana yad yad karma pirkir vida tad brahmani samarpaye. What a brilliant exhortation. When I start my practical life, that which is Grihastha ashram, then I am being told that you will do with this consciousness of the supreme reality, you will take every action. And you will do it in a spirit as when you go to your place of worship and you make an offering there. In Grihastha ashram, you will do everything with that spirit. If you are going to do everything with that spirit, is there any chance of your wronging somebody? Absolutely no chance. And please also remember, I am not trying to tell you, I am just reminding you, because human beings more often need to be reminded than educated. We go through this process of education, but the process of reminding ourselves of what we have learned is equally important, because education without action becomes meaningless. Mahatma Gandhi had said, he had said this to everybody, but I am saying it particularly to you because you are going to be wasted with administrative powers. He said, any action which you take, measure it on the yardstick. I am giving you one mantra, and the mantra is that whatever you do, just pause and think whether your action is going to benefit the last man. If it is going to benefit the last man, go ahead. But if it does not benefit the last man, then stop then and there. So you have tremendous responsibilities on your shoulders. On the basic thing, you have to work in a manner which ensures unity and integrity of India. You have to work in a manner where diversity does not bother you, but in conformity with the Indian tradition, you consider diversity as a source of enrichment of Indian society. And then you have always to be conscious, aware of the last man. Somebody has said that God don't create heroes, elevate the race. We have to elevate our people who have labored under the burden, under the yoke of slavery, poverty, backwardness for hundreds of years. We have a special duty towards them. Swami Vivekananda, whom we consider prophet of Indian Renaissance, he said, so long as millions live in ignorance and poverty, I shall hold everyone who, having been educated at their expense, pays no heed to them. Only those live who live for others. This is not power for personal aggrandizement, personal satisfaction. No. You have been blessed with power which you are going to exercise in future, which must be exercised to lift the common man, particularly the last man. I give you all my best wishes. I am proud of you. And I wish I am going to say something which many of you may not like. I wish you all go to different states, not to Kerala. Why? Because Kerala, the robust sense of equality, sense of dignity, which Kerala has, that needs to be created in other states also. Dr. Vishwas Mehta, our former Chief Secretary, now Chief Information Commissioner, one day he told me, and I was so happy to hear what he told me. He said, "Sir, today my driver said to me, 'Sir, what is the difference between you and me, the Chief Secretary and his official driver?' He is saying, 'What is the difference between you and me? You chose to write IAS examination, I did not.' I am so happy to see this. I see on the roads of Trivandrum a woman walking alone, the kind of confidence which she exudes. This robust sense of equality, this sense of dignity, I wish this to spread all over India. So I give you all my best wishes. If you are here, as long as I am here, then we will have many chances to meet. But if you go outside of Kerala, cadre of other states, then I will be very happy that wherever I am here or somewhere else, to meet you again. We can be in touch, and I give you very best wishes, and I give again my greetings, my compliments to your parents and your families and your friends who helped you in achieving this great success. Valre Nanni, Jai Hind.